Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MTG Traders. My name is Taryn, and this is Mono Black Demons for Core Set 2019 Standard. So we're starting this week off with some deck techs for Angels and Demons, and today we're doing Demons first, actually. It's always darkest before the dawn, I guess. Doing Demons first, and then next week I think we'll go into just completely rotation-proof decks from then on, kind of preparing for when Guilds of Ravnica come out, and when Amonkhet and Our Devastation and Kaladesh, Aether Revolt, that kind of stuff rotate. Starting with our creatures, we have 26 in total. We have 4 Glintsleeve Siphoner, 4 Metallic Mimic, 4 Amet Eternal, and 4 Baleful Amet. So there is the black-blue demon version where you can do the adaptation card and try and get the Liliana's contract that way. But my way is let's just play a lot of demons and cards that are really good value in black, like Glintsleeve Siphoner and Metallic Mimic, because that's a great card with the Baleful and Amet Eternal to kind of synergize really well with giving us counters, as well as being able to kind of remove counters off of the Baleful Amet once we put things, or put the counter on Amet Eternal once it hits in. Stuff like that. Lots of good synergies here. And so Glintsleeve Siphoner is just probably one of the best card draw engines for us in all of Black right now, thanks to just being able to draw you a card and losing a life basically every other turn. Really, really good, especially with a 2/1 with Menace for 2. Just fantastic. Moving up to our bigger creatures here, we have Dreadshade, Demon of Catastrophes, and Demon Lord Belzenlock. It's actually a 2 of here. I'm going to update on the graphic in the post. But Dreadshade, a great 3-drop for us at 3 mana 3/3. We can also pay 1, and it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Demon of Catastrophes is actually not a terrible card either. It kind of has a downside in that you have to sack a creature to use it, but that's not really a downside. It's a 4 mana 6/6 flying with trample. As an initial cost to cast this creature, sacrifice a creature, and there are enchantments in the game. This is like a no-brainer to put into this demon list. Demon Lord Belzenlock, though, is a huge threat to our board state and just a great bomb on the 6-drop. 6 mana 6/6 flying trample. When it enters a battlefield, exile the top cards of your library until you exile a non-land card. Then put that card into your hand. If the card's converted mana cost is 4 or higher, repeat this process. Demon Lord Belzenlock deals 1 damage to you for each card put into your hand this way. So we have actually a lot of cards in the deck list that are 4 mana and greater. So Demon Lord Belzenlock will actually hit a few times for us, which is actually quite good. But also just being a 6 mana 6/6 flyer trampler is also just crazy good as well in our demon list. But that is it for creatures, 26 in total. Let's move on to our spells here, starting with Liliana, Death's Majesty. While she isn't necessarily a demon, she's a great planeswalker for us in this deck list. A 5 mana 5 loyalty, +1, -3, and -7. +1 is really good for us because it creates blockers as well as sack outlets for Demon of Catastrophes. -3 actually returns the demons that an opponent may kill, or they may have removal for, or just block or something like that. And one of the best things is if Demon of the Catastrophes is in the graveyard and we return it with our -3 with Liliana, it actually comes back and we don't have to sack a creature for it, so that's fantastic. Supernatural Stamina is here as well. Just a great card for us, a great combat trick thanks to Glintsleeve Siphoner. And Rite of Belzenlock is another great card for us, giving us sack outlets as well as creating a 6/6 demon on turn 3 for the chapters here. And then Liliana's Contract is a new card from Core Set 2019. Another great card for us, a 5 mana enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, draw 4 cards and lose 4 life. And if we control 4 different demons with different names, we win the game at the beginning of our upkeep. Now, Liliana's Contract isn't necessarily a win game kind of mechanic for us. We can definitely win a game that way for sure. But more often than not, it's just a draw 4, lose 4 for 5, and that's really good overall. But that is all the cards in the deck list besides lands. Let's get lands really quickly. We have just 18 Swamp, 2 If Near Dead lands, and 4 Cabal Stronghold. Now, I only put 2 If Near Dead lands in here because the Cabal Stronghold is a card that really needs swamps to be useful, and If Near Dead lands are not swamps. However, they are good removal for us, being able to pay for and sack a desert, put 2 -1/-1 counters on target creature and opponent controls, and of course that's only a sorcery speed ability. But Cabal Stronghold for us is also very good at being able to get out our giant 6-drops like Demon Lord Belzenlock, and just any other things like pumping our Dreadshade to oblivion. But that is all the cards in the Game 1 game plan. That's our full 60. Let's get to the sideboard here and see what we're working with. Starting with 2 Scavenger Grounds, 2 Duress, 2 Doomfall, and 2 Golden Demise. So if we do bring in Scavenger Grounds, we want to take out Liliana from the deck list here because her -3 is more important than her +1 there. We do definitely want to bring in the Duress for the control matchups, Doomfall for the control matchups, Golden Demise for a really great matchup against a go-wide strategy, mono red goblins, things like that. Just a good card to shut down. Also to shut down black-white knights, things like that as well. And the rest of the sideboard here for us, we have Plague Mare, a great card against the mono-white token-based decks right now. Gonti, Lord of Luxury, Vraska's Contempt, and Meteor Golem. Just another good card for us. Actually, one of the few cards where we can actually use it in the mono blacklist and target non-land permanents and opponent controls for just 7 mana. That is a lot, but being able to target non-land permanents and destroy them for just 7 mana isn't actually too bad. Universal Solvent was the card that was also in kind of this list for like a long time ago, as far as a card you needed to kind of affect non-land permanents. But now that we have Meteor Golem, and it's kind of like a better thing, a better card overall, it's definitely in this sideboard here. Vraska's Contempt is for the more control matchup, control-heavy matchup dealing with Teferi, things like that. Gonti is great for the control matchup, and Plague Mare is just a Goblin Chain Whirler, but on a black creature, and that's awesome as well. But that is the full 75, folks. Let's go to the actual layout here, the full deck list. If you want to build this on MTGO Traders or on MTGO, it's coming to about 30 tickets, which is not bad at all. And if you want to build this in paper, it's coming to about 125 bucks. However, the big caveat is this deck rotates, a lot of it rotates, rather, in about 2 months. So this is why this is the last week for the rotation-proof decks, or the last week for just regular decks. Next week will be rotation-proof decks. But I really did want to show this deck off because I really do like it overall. I think it's really powerful. And let's jump into some matches and see what it can do. All right, let's get into some matches here, starting with match 1. And this wouldn't be a demon deck if it wasn't for a few salt scoops, and I made sure to include a few of them in the 3 matches here today. I have a decent opening hand with 3 lands. If you see 3 lands, you keep 3 lands, especially with the Glintstream Siphoner on turn 2. Baleful Amet, Dreadshade, and Demon of Catastrophes also being in our hand. Up against Mono Blue Flyers, perhaps, starting this off strong with Glintstream Siphoner on turn 2. Getting into Liliana Death's Majesty, so not too bad either. Need to get to some 5 lands for that. They go with a pass here, holding up, I would assume, a Negate or a Essence Scatter, something like that. We go with the Glintstream Siphoner attack since it has Menace. We get in for 2 points of damage. Go up to 2 energy, and then we play Dreadshade, thinking it's going to get countered, but does not. Actually hits the battlefield. 3 mana for them. Going for a card where you can sack an artifact and draw a card. So this is like a blue artifact list. Going for our 4th land, going for Demon of Catastrophes, sacking Glintstream Siphoner since it did do the deed of drawing us an extra card this turn. So we've got a 6/6 flyer and a 3/3 on the ground. Getting a 3 in, doing an additional 3 points of damage, taking them down to 15. Then 5 points of damage overall so far. They go with the Thopter Manufacturer, or whatever that card is called, where they can make Thopters from it. Baleful Amet coming in here. We're going to put that counter on the Dreadshade. Not that big of an issue to us, actually. And then we just attack in for 6 in the air and 2 on the ground. And they just let it happen. They could go down to 7 here. Laying out the Void here, not too bad. Being able to scry off the top. So, super good land, I feel like, in Limited. Might see some play in Standard eventually, once rotation happens. Thinking about making a Thopter here. They can do that at instant speed, I believe. I'm going to lay a land here, and then just swing out like a madman. Very nice. Now they go and make a Thopter here, which is not bad, and they go with a block here on the Dreadshade and Baleful Amet. They let the 6/6/3, and we're going to go Supernatural Stamina, and that is it. Doing 8 points of damage. That's the win. So we see a lot of like small creatures, 1 toughness creatures with the Thopters. We bring in Doomfall, take out Stamina, and then I believe we bring in Plague Mare, taking out Liliana. And that's it. We submit and go into game 2. Not bad. One of the best things about this deck is that a lot of the demons just need answers immediately. Laying out our land here, passing, drawing into a Glintstream Siphoner, which makes this an amazing hand for us. They go for the Servo there. Getting a Glintstream Siphoner and pass. Amet Eternal is a great card as well with Metallic Mimic in our hand. Just a lot of good stuff in our hand right now. Getting in for a free attack, basically. For 2 points of damage, dropping them down to 18. But they're actually going to, you know, tap our creature thanks to Pacification Array. And then we play out Amet Eternal, a 3-mana 5/5. They're going to go for a pass here. I assume they didn't hit their land drop there, so we just attack in if we can. I think they're going to go and tap down the Amet Eternal. No, they're going to tap down the Glintstream Siphoner. Getting in for 5 here. Now they can block it and take it a possible 3. instead, which is what they're going to do. And we can either get out the Eternal, or the Baleful Omit, or the Metallic Mimic. Go for the Baleful Omit first, putting that -1 counter on the Eternal, making it a 4/4. Playing Servo Schematic, not hitting their land again. So probably a scoop from our opponent here, getting a nice clean 2-0. Very nice. Let's get into match 2 here, and this is where the salt scoops start. Oh man, had so much fun with this deck list. It's just super powerful, and you know, mono black I feel like is just one of the best deck lists right now. This is, I believe, green-red monsters. Landwar Elf, land for turn, and Glintstream Siphoner. We actually lose this first game here, and the reason is because, as you can see, we're drawing a lot of land. A lot of nothing. So, we just drew a land, and they play Magma Spray with a Jadelight Ranger into that. And then what do we draw after this attack for 1? We draw another land. Having a typical Terran Qualls gameplay video right here. Playing out Dreadshade here to try and hold up blockers, as well as be a good attacker if we need to. We let the 4 in here, going down to 14. Hit Demon Lord Belzenlock because the Shuffler hates us, and pass turn, hoping to kind of skirt around some removal from the Dreadshade. Then they go for, I believe, Demanding Dragon, which is a huge threat to our board state. So we either sacrifice our Dreadshade or take 5 to the face. We decide to take 5 to the face and pass turn, knowing that we'll get to Demon Lord pretty quickly. Thinking about Cabal Stronghold there and seeing how much mana could do what. We instead play out the Ifnir Deadlands here and think about maybe weakening the Ranger or the Demanding Dragon. Either way, it would put us behind and leave the Dreadshade vulnerable. And so we kind of decide not to do that and just pass the turn. Opponent 2 cards in hand here, and let's see what they top deck for this right here. Next turn, we'll eat out Demon Lord Belzenlock. They top deck a Glorybringer, getting in for 9 points in the air, and that is it. That's a concede there. Let's get into our sideboard here, bringing in Contempt, taking out Liliana's Contract, thinking about the Supernatural taking out, bringing in Doomfall, taking out Liliana, trying to get some more good spot removal against their board state setup. So we can deal with Demanding Dragon, Glorybringer, and things like that. So let's get into game 2 here and see what we can do. Opening hand is 4 lands. Again, kind of land heavy, but we have Rite of Belzenlock and Omni Eternal, which I'm happy about. So those are 2 cards that can really flood the board state. Getting into another land again. The Shuffler really does love giving me land early in the game. Merfolk Branchwalker coming in, being a 3/2. Not bad. Can go for an Omni Eternal, a 3-mana 5/5. Just a great wall to be able to block that attacker. Tapping out for a Jadelight Ranger, making our Omni Eternal a 4/4. And they pitch a Landwar Elf to the graveyard, trying to get into some larger threats. Might be a mana-heavy hand here for them. Passing turn. We're going to go for a attack first, and then try and get out Rite of Belzenlock after that. They decide to actually go for the block here with Jadelight Ranger, which is surprising. I feel like they wouldn't do that, but they did, which is good for us. We go Rite of Belzenlock and play out that, getting 2 0/1s. Now they can attack in with the Branchwalker, no problem, which is fine. It just means that we'll have a 6/6 demon soon. Actually on the same turn that we'll play Demon Lord Belzenlock if you do the math there. Jadelight Ranger coming in once again, another one. Getting only 1 counter this time instead of 2. Not bad. Getting in for 3 here. Down to 17, we're both even here. If you notice, we did 3 points of damage thanks to the Afflict damage from Omni Eternal. Getting out Dreadshade off the top there, so nice play for us as well. 5 creatures on the board state. We would have the Ascend. We needed it. Playing out a card here for our opponent, their land. Looking for a giant bomb like a Demanding Dragon or a Glorybringer. They play Goreclaw instead. Great card, but I feel like it's a little weak with the 3 toughness. They go for this. We go for the 6 demon. Then we also go for Demon Lord Belzenlock. 2 6/6 flyers on the same turn, drawing into Baleful Omit. Just a lot of power on the same turn on turn 6. So we are ready to rock and roll this next turn here. One of the best things about the Rite of Belzenlock is that it does create a 6/6 on turn 6, but at the same time it creates 4 blockers as well. Sack outlets too for the demon if you need them. But just a great way for us to go larger. Glorybringer from an opponent, but it really can't do anything against the 4/4s. Goreclaw only activates whenever it attacks, so not really advantageous to get in. We go for Cabal Stronghold and then just tap that down, getting a lot of mana here. Going up to 9, just spending all of it for Rite of Belzenlok, Baleful Amet, and even Glintleaf Siphoner, putting that -1/-1 counter on a Cleric here. Since we know we'll create 2 more from the next turn. Dump out our entire hand, and then just thinking about attacking in here with the 2 6/6s, but actually decide against it thanks to that Goreclaw ability, because we're at 16. We want to be a little bit more careful. We don't want to get into a situation where they top deck another Glorybringer and just swing out for face, because that would hurt so bad. They play out Demanding Dragon here. We can take 5 to the face or sack a creature. We decide to sacrifice a Cleric, and that's really going to be game for us, honestly. So, Ripjaw Raptor from them as well. They just can't beat our 6/6s. So we won't be able to draw an extra card with the Glintleaf Siphoner, but we draw into another Rite of Belzenlok, which is just insane. All this means is we'll be able to overpower their entire board state. We swing out here because it's really advantageous to do so. They go with a double block there, and then we just pump Dreadshade to Oblivion, and that is it for match 2. They actually go with a Salt Scoop there. Nice. And match 3 here is one where the actual opponent has some salt at the very end of the match. So let's get into some matches here. This is blue-black control here. Glintleaf Siphoner off the top is very good for us. Great turn 2 play as well. Going for a regular swamp again, making sure we can use that for Dreadshade. They go Essence Scatter on the Glintleaf Siphoner, which signals to me that they are on control. So go Champion of Wits, not Chamber of Wits. Champion of Wits. Very nice card overall. Metallic Mimic off the top. We're going to go the Amet Eternal since they're tapped out. A 3-mana 5/5 is just fantastic against their board state. Obviously, they'll want to have their Champion of Wits die this turn, so we're just going to swing in and do immediately 3 points of damage thanks to Afflict damage. And then go for a Dreadshade if we can, or a Baleful Amet. There we go. Going to go Baleful Amet. Thought about this getting countered, but it did not get countered, so we see a Fatal Push, though, hit the Amet Eternal, which is actually not bad for us. They tap all 5 mana, going for a Liliana, and making it +1 here, going 2/2, or making it 2/2. We get out a Dreadshade here, losing 1 life for that ability, but we have a 4/3 Lifelinger, so not too bad. They decide to go for a direct attack here, letting the Baleful Amet hit directly, while keeping their 2/2, making another 2/2, and throwing a Torrential Gearhulk into the graveyard there. So clearly on a weird black-blue control / reanimator deck list. Metallic Mimic for us here, naming Demon, and Metallic Mimic once again. They have 2 cards in hand, so we know that they're kind of low on gas to counter stuff. They're going to go for a double block here, making sure that the Liliana survives. The reasoning because I assume they want to bring back the Torrential Gearhulk from the graveyard. That's exactly what they do. They lost a permanent, so they're going to go for a Fatal Push, I believe. Or Cast Down, actually. Cast Down with thrown to the graveyard, thanks to Liliana's +1. And cast down the Dreadshade. And then go for a Champion of Wits, drawing 4, discarding 2, so not bad. We have a Liliana of our own, but we need to get into another land for that to happen. We sacrifice our Baleful Amet for a 8/8 Flying Trampler, a huge bomb on the side of the field. 2, 4, 6, 8, 7 pieces of mana for them. And they're back up again with a full grip of cards in hand, so we really need to be careful. Field of Ruin from opponent, a great Revolt trigger for the Fatal Push if they need it. Thanks to us having Ifnir Deadlands on our side of the field. Need to desperately get into another mana for the Liliana to hit, so we can bring back a Baleful Amet or something like that. Up to 5 here. We go for an attack before we play Liliana. And they actually go for Ifnir Deadlands, or sack, on the Field of Ruin to trigger a Fatal Push, which does mean they can Torrential Gearhulk Fatal Push from their graveyard to kill our 8/8 creature. Not bad. We're going to play out a Liliana since they're tapped out at -3, making our Demon of Catastrophes come back free of charge without having to sacrifice a creature, making it an 8/8 once again thanks to Metallic Mimics. Champion of Wits into their field once again. I feel like they're trying to get into, maybe not Cast Out, but more like a Vraska's Contempt, since we have the Liliana here. Thinking about what they're discarding, a land and a Essence Scatter. Having Dreadshade in hand is not terrible. They go for an all-out attack on Liliana here. We're going to kill a Torrential Gearhulk, and Liliana's obviously going to die from that encounter, but we do get rid of one Torrential Gearhulk, which isn't too bad. Doomfall, we actually get rid of Dreadshade from our hand. Top deck a Rite of Belzenlog, which is amazing. Really does help us out. But they also have a Supreme Will in hand, so we actually can't do that. We just attack in for 8 since we have 27 life, and drop them down to 9. 2 more attacks will close out the game for us unless they have removal for the Demon of Catastrophes. Glensleeve Siphoner for them, and they're going to, I believe, pass here. Another Demon of Catastrophes, and we're just going to sacrifice a Metallic Mimic to make this happen, because it really does make the game for us. Great top deck, and opponent, I believe, messages us at this point. Yep, Magical Christmas Land. That's exactly what we do. We're just going to send my heart, and that's it. Very nice. And those are the matches, folks. Hope you did like it. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And make sure to hit that notification button to be notified whenever a channel goes, or whenever a video goes live on the channel. Not if a channel goes live with a video. That doesn't make any sense. But I hope you guys liked it. And, you know, if you want to catch me on stream, I stream on Twitch. I'll put the link in the description, as well as on the video here. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And, yeah, we stream just regular stuff like drafts, some deck techs, and I do Fan Fridays on Friday. But that's it for the video, guys. I'll see you in the Angels deck tech tomorrow. Have a good one. Peace. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more awesome MTG content just like this. And make sure to tap the bell icon to be notified whenever a video is made live. If you want to keep watching content, here are 2 more videos for you. This video and many others are sponsored by MTGO Traders and Cape Fear Games. Buy and sell digital singles to build your online collection today with MTGO Traders, and get your paper singles, accessories, and much more from Cape Fear Games. Whatever your Magic needs, both places have you covered.